Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Sandman Build-A-Figure Wave Green Goblin figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini mates, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about you.
Green Goblin's bio reads, a cackling menace aided by advanced technology, Green Goblin seeks to destroy Spider-Man in the pursuit of ultimate power. And taking a look at all the characters you need to complete the Sandman Build-A-Figure, you need 7 in total, and they include Green Goblin, Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man UK, Ms. Marvel, Spider-Man with the black suit, Jackal, and Shocker. Taking a look at Green Goblin, aka Norman Osborn, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about this figure right now. I don't hate it, I don't love it, I'm a little indifferent right now. I'll see how I feel as the review progresses and I go through everything, but it's not bad. There's some things that I definitely like about this figure. There's some things that I do not like. Obviously, this is the Bucky Cap mold, and this is pretty much the same figure that we got through Hobgoblin, just stylized for the look of Green Goblin. So we got the green and purple and some lighter shades of purple, and it's some nice detail on the figure, and the face is unique. I'm not really sure how I feel about that just yet, but let's go over his accessories real quick. Green Goblin is packed in with 2 heads for the Sandman Build-A-Figure. You got this battle damaged head where he's kind of half in his sand form and half in his regular human form, and this looks really good. He's also packed in with a completely normal head, totally powered down, and ironically this looks like Norman Osborn a little bit, especially the way the hair looks with the waves flowing. Then there's a pumpkin bomb. This is probably the most detailed pumpkin bomb that we've received so far. I'll show the other 2. I'll be doing quite a few comparisons in this review, but this one is fully painted, whereas the other 2 has sort of a translucent look to them. You could actually do some nice things display-wise as far as light piping with the other 2 that we received, but I'll show those. And there's the other 2. I can't remember which came with Hobgoblin and which came with Jack-O-Lantern, but the fact that we have all 3 of these, I'm just thinking about it now. It can make for a pretty interesting display possibility as far as doing a little still motion with the 3 and having like varying degrees of it getting ready to explode. As you can see, he can hold it with no problem. And then the last accessory he comes with is his signature Goblin Glider, and this is a step up and a step in the right direction in comparison to the glider that we got with Hobgoblin, as it is a little bigger. I thought the one that came with Hobgoblin was very small, but this thing has absolutely no detail on it whatsoever. It's just pretty much this flat sort of gray silver. They could have at least maybe painted these little rivets on these parts where his feet are supposed to peg in, and nothing. I mean, not the exhaust or this fan here in the back. Nowhere on this thing is there any detailing to kind of differentiate between the different parts of it or the different working parts of this machine. It doesn't look like a machine at all. And here's the 2 gliders side by side. The one on the right is the glider that we got with Hobgoblin, and then this one here. So like I said, you can tell that the Green Goblin's glider is bigger. Let me really delve deeper into this and show you why Hasbro be pump faking and really just fronting on us sometimes with a lot of the stuff that they do. This glider on the left is the glider that we got with the old Toy Biz Hobgoblin, the Spider-Man Classics version. So you can see that has some detail, some color, and they even put some exhaust smoke on it, and that looks good. And obviously it's much better than the one that we got from Hasbro. Just taking a look at some other gliders of the past. This was the glider that came with the Toy Biz Green Goblin that had the little goggles. I'll show that figure when I do some size comparisons, but you can see this is much a lot larger. It does have a little bit of paint detail. At least there is some detail here on the exhaust. And here's a glider that came with the original Toy Biz Jack-O-Lantern figure. And here's a glider that came with the Toy Biz Spider-Man Classics Hobgoblin figure, which I'll show when I do some size comparisons too. And look at all the detail on this, and look at how big this thing is, man. This is crazy. And this has a lot of nice paint shading and detail in it. And then finally you have this glider, which came with the Toy Biz Onslaught Build-A-Figure Wave Green Goblin, the original Onslaught that we got from Toy Biz. And this was a cool design. Not a lot of detail on this one here, but still, at least this looks like it could be a metal device. You know, it looks much better than the flat gray one that we got with this figure here. And this one actually came with a stand, and you could attach it to the stand like so. And in the past, I've just taken the stand off and ported a A.C.B.A flight stand in the bottom of this thing and got it up there for some aerial displays. And I think I understand what they were going for here. Hasbro has been, it seems to me that Hasbro's been trying to do a lot of things from Superior Spider-Man and mimic the art style during that run in the comics. And there was a part in the books where there was this Goblin War. I think that was the name of the story arc, as a matter of fact. And I stopped reading at that time because I thought it was just really corny. I didn't like it. And Green Goblin and Hobgoblin were warring, and they were drawn pretty much the same. Costumes were identical as far as the look. Like I said, just different colors. So that's what we got here in figure form for the most part. I think that's what they were going for, and I think they did a good job of doing that, if that was their intention. And I see my man Brandon mention in the comments of my Shocker review that Hasbro wasn't going to be putting any extra details on the Bucky Cat mold, and the days that I'm doing stuff like that was over. But really what I wanted them to do for Shocker, as far as his costume is concerned, is exactly what they did here for Green Goblin and for Hobgoblin previously, was just to make you know, some portions of the costume textured. But I think the color scheme and everything for him looks good. I don't know about this really light purple on the bag and the belt. I'm not sure how I feel about that. This belt is actually a separate piece, as is the man purse or the merce. So you could remove the purse, and if you really wanted to take this belt off, I guess you probably could. You'd have to cut it off, but I could see a customizer using that for something else. The way it was drawn in Superior Spider-Man, the face was a little more natural looking. It actually didn't really look like a mask in some of the ways, and in certain instances when it was drawn. This here actually looks like a mask, so I guess you could argue that this is better. I feel like the other version in the comic book oftentimes looked like it was just a person with a green face and not really a mask. But this looks very exaggerated and manic, and I don't know. It looks good. Just judging it just on this, this face is actually pretty cool. It's nicely done. I like the way the ears look and like I said, this looks like a mask. And going over articulation, the head is on a ball joint. It will look down that far. It will look up very far, which is great. Any character that flies or simulates flight, you need that extra articulation on the head. The head articulation here is actually really good. You get a pivot, it'll turn left and right. It's not hindered by any way by anything, so that's good. Shoulders on a ball joint, it'll go up just that far. You do get a rotation at the upper bicep. You do get a double jointed elbow, a wrist swivel, and a hinge. The ab crunch is not going to go down that far, just that much. Just going to go back that much. You do get a swivel at the waist, T-joint at the hips. Legs will go up pretty far. You do get rotation at the upper thigh. You get a double jointed knee. You get rotation at the top of the boot, a hinge, and a pivot. And it's going to be the same thing on both sides as far as the arms and legs go. No difference. And the head does pop off. This is a standard peg for the Bucky Cat mold. I know a lot of people were hoping for a Norman Osborn head to be packed in with him. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. But I've had this modded head for quite some time, and that fits on there perfectly. This is from the Toy Biz Onslaught Build-A-Figure Wave, and this was the variant. So if you have that figure and you still have that head, you would have to mod it a little bit. You're going to definitely have to Dremel it out a little bit for it to fit on this peg perfectly. Again, I didn't have to do that because I bought this some time ago, and it was attached to a DC Clark Kent body, and since then I've used it on all of the newer suited bodies that Hasbro has put out, so it'll fit on there too. So again, if you have this head, then that will work the proportions work. I think that looks very good. Size comparison time. You can see the Toy Biz Green Goblin and Hobgoblin from many years ago share the same body mold, just like the new Green Goblin and Hobgoblin from Hasbro share the same body mold. But obviously this newer Hasbro Buck is much more streamlined and much more proportionate and looks more realistic to someone's body type as opposed to these other two. These molds are actually horrible, and you can see that Marvel Legends has come a very long way, even though these were actually considered Spider-Man classics, but it was still Toy Biz. It was still an extension of Marvel Legends, and I'm pretty sure that's how most people felt back then. I guess in a strange way, Hasbro did kind of pay homage to Toy Biz by using the same mold for the newer figures here. Just taking a closer look at both faces. I will say that the Toy Biz version was pretty detailed, though. It did have a lot of paint shading and detail. That's one thing that Toy Biz did, was they did wonders with paint work in most cases. I mean, look at that. You know, these are supposed to be similar renditions of Hobgoblin with the more exaggerated sort of demonic look. And look at all of the detail on this. This really looks like a potato sack or something. It looks really good and really detailed. You don't have any of that on the newer Hasbro version. So, and one final size comparison. I couldn't end the review without breaking out the Toy Biz Green Goblin from the Toy Biz Onslaught Build-A-Figure. And I think this is one of Toy Biz's best figures, actually. I think it still holds up pretty well. It's clean, it's streamlined, everything matches up. And, you know, looking at the head sculpts on both of them, I feel like the Toy Biz version matches better. The overall deco matches a little better, whereas the new Hasbro version, I'm still just not really sold on this head. I feel like the face is a little dark in comparison to the rest of the body. I'm just not sure how I feel about that. I also noticed that the Hasbro version has his Merce slung across his right side, whereas if Green Goblin is right-handed, that doesn't make sense. You can see the Toy Biz version has it correct, where he would be reaching into the pouch with his right hand. One of the things that wasn't so great about the Toy Biz version was that the pumpkin bomb was fixed to the hand. That was kind of whack about that figure. Then you got the Pizza Spotty here, and in comparison, you know, the Pizza Spotty could be paired up with that Green Goblin. He's a little slender, but it is probably a better pair with the Hasbro version as far as you know, the Buck, and as far as matching up their body types. My final test is always how it looks in the display, though. We'll see how some of these pictures come out. You know, like I said, I don't hate the figure, but I'm not totally in love. Didn't knock my socks off, but I'd still recommend it, especially if you are hopped on Legends later in the game and you were never able to get any of those other Green Goblins. Then most definitely this is going to be your definitive Green Goblin. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you're going to thumbs down the video, at least say why you thumbs down the video. Comment on the video and say why you didn't like it. I was able to find this entire wave at retail at Toys R Us, so they are starting to pop up at Toys R Us. So get out there, check your local Toys R Us. Up next is going to be the Sandman Build-A-Figure review. I'll try to do as many comparisons as I can in that one. Until next time, peace.
That's crispy.